Welcome to the Church Training Academy live show, CTA Live. My name is Justin Nava, and I am Dave's intrepid partner. Dave was so gracious to let me join the CTA team as his partner, and unfortunately, Dave could not be here today. He has a prior commitment that he needs to take care of and serve the kingdom with, so I'm going to come and take over, and so I appreciate you watching and taking a look at this old mug, and if you're listening to this after the fact, I hope you can hear me okay, I hope you can understand me okay. We're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to learn a lot, so get your notepad, open up your Google Notes, your Evernote, your iPad notes, whatever you use to take notes on, because today is going to be a jam-packed session. Today I'm going to have Tom Pounder, and we're going to be talking about Digital Missionaries. Tom Pounder runs YM Sidekick. It's a Sidekick. Tom Pounder runs YM Sidekick. It's a blog. You find it on ymsidekick.com. It's a blog. It's a podcast, and he is just one of the pioneers at the forefront of using the internet and technology to spread the good news, spread the gospel, and that's what we're here about. At Church Training Academy, we're all about reaching new people and impacting lives by exploiting technology to grow your church. All right, so today I have a very special treat for you today. Today we're going to be talking about who or what is a digital missionary. And in the chat with us right now, we have Tom Pounder. Tom Pounder, like I said before, is with YM Sidekick. I can't say that word, man. ymsidekick.com. He's got a blog, he's got a podcast, and he wrote an amazing blog a few weeks ago about digital missionaries. And that caught my eye because I was like, digital missionaries, what is this? Is this the new thing? What's going on here? So I had Tom come on the show to kind of go into what a digital missionary is, because the great thing is it's not just for your church staff. It's not just for your church leaders. Anyone can be a digital missionary, and it's a lot easier than you think. All right, thanks, Tom, for being with me and joining us at Church Training Academy. For those that don't know who you are or what you do, can you give me a brief explainer on who you are and what you do and kind of your background with church media?
Yeah, thanks. Well, thanks for having me on, Justin. I'm really flattered that you asked me to be on. So I'm Tom Pounder. I'm 42 years old, so I'm a little bit old school on this. But I have a background in student ministry. So I started off doing middle school and high school ministry. And about 3.5 years ago, our executive pastor came up to me and said, "Hey, you're on Facebook all the time. You're on social media. You would be great for our new online campus pastor. We're going to start streaming our services, and we're going to start being more involved in social media. And so we would love for you to do it since you're always on." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." and of course I was like flattered. I loved it because I do love social media and I do love online stuff. And so I thought, great. As I get older, with doing student ministry is not so much of my passion as it used to be. I love a lot about student ministry, but hanging out with the young kids these days is harder and harder for me to do, especially as my girls get older and older. And so I transitioned into doing online ministry, and now I do a lot of social media. I do a lot of online stuff. I still have a hand in student ministry, but so I've been doing ministry in general for about 20 years now, and it's been really kind of a fun ride for me.
Awesome. I'm very curious. What is your daily duties as the online campus pastor? What does an average day look like?
It is different almost all the time, but I do a lot of social media. So I get on and I'm in charge of our church social media. And so we have 3 campuses, including the online campus. So we have 3 campuses that I run the social media for. So I'm writing blog posts. I'm doing video devotionals. That's one thing I do specifically for the online campus is I'll do a family video devotional once a week. That I have tied into the curriculum that we're using at our church. But and then I'll do blog posts, social media, engage people on social media as well, and I do online life groups as well. We have right now 4 online life groups running at the same time, and I work with online life group leaders, and I'll also run the online group. I have 2 of them that I run myself, and then 2 of them that I'm working with other co-leaders on. But so that's kind of a little bit of it. It varies. Every day is a little bit different.
Yeah, whenever you work with media or tech or online, Never every day is different. No day is the same. You can't say every Monday I do this because something might change. You know,
Yes,
even if you try to just wear a web hat on Monday and an IT hat on Tuesday, a computer can break down and you have to wear your IT
yes.
hat on Monday for sure.
Yes, and then again with all the tragedies we've had recently and all the newsworthy topics, the church we want to respond to it, so that throws a wrench in the plans as well, and we have to figure out how to respond to that. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that we have to respond to.
Hmm.
Any type of tragedy, even a pastor, what we call a normal pastor, right? A senior pastor, he's got to drop some stuff and say, "I can't go to your meeting because someone needs pastoral assistance."
Yep.
So yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Cool. So that kind of bridges into what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about being a digital missionary. And this is one of the things that if I was to tell my grandfather, "Hey, I'm a digital missionary," he would go, "What? What are you talking about?" I have my grandparents-in-law, even when I told them I was studying church music and at the time wanted to be a music minister, they were like, "A music minister? What is that?" That was like 5 years ago. I was like, "You never heard of a
Yeah.
music minister?" So I mean, to even try to explain a digital missionary, can you give us what is that? What is a digital missionary
Yeah.
and why is it important?
Yeah, well, I think it's extremely important these days. And I heard the term a few years ago just in a passing, and I thought, wow, this is really kind of a cool idea. And so I started exploring the concept of what does it mean to be a missionary, a digital missionary. And when you look back at it, a missionary is someone who goes into an environment with the heart, with the desire to win someone for Christ, to share with them about Christ. Now, you can do that a variety of different ways. I've learned, through Young Life. I was trained doing student ministries through the organization called Young Life, and they always had a saying of you want to meet kids, you want to meet people, go where they are. Okay, so I thought, as a missionary, I need to go and be where people are, go where kids are. And if you throw the digital concept into it, is that you want to use digital tools to reach people where they are. And where are they? They're online a lot now. I mean, you want to reach moms? You can go on Facebook right now. You want to reach the millennial generation? You can go on Instagram, or you go on YouTube. I mean, you can. People discount Twitter, but I still believe that Twitter is a really great place for people to go and talk to people. And so a digital missionary is using social media, using web, using online tools to reach people for Christ. And it looks so different because, as you know, Justin, digital stuff is changing all the time. What was current yesterday is not current anymore. I mean, so it changes all the time. So it's using those digital tools to reach people for Christ.
And how does one become a digital missionary? Is that something you have to study for, qualify for, practice so many years? How do you just become a digital missionary?
I think you just get out there right now and just start using social media and online tools. I mean, honestly, the great thing about it is, because everything changes, I bet you in a few years, colleges will start having some sort of digital missionary track. I bet you they will. There's student ministry tracks. There's, worship. I think there's worship ministry tracks in Christian colleges. They'll probably have tracks like this. But right now, it really is you learning on the go and you finding people, influencers in the digital realm and learning and then applying it into a ministry context. Like, for instance, I when they first told me that I was going to be an online campus pastor, I had no idea what to do. So I called Jay Cranda, who is the online guy at Saddleback, and Jay is a fantastic resource. But Jay helped me walk through some of these things of what it means to be an online campus pastor. And then I would call somebody else and talk to somebody else. But I would also check out a lot of blogs. Like Social Media Examiner is it's a marketing blog for social media. But the content there is so awesome and so rich, and you can learn so much. And they're posting all the time. And you can take what they're talking about for marketing and apply it into a digital missionary type of world, into talking to people about Christ. So really you're constantly learning because it's constantly changing, but you're going and finding some influencers and trying to talk with them and get some feedback for. At least that's what I did.
Okay. So it's not something that you have to so much study for, like becoming Correct me if I'm wrong. Like churches want you to have a bachelor's degree in Christian education or a master's degree at some churches. But to be a digital missionary, it's not like finding a job, being a missionary or a pastor. It's something that you can decide to do, just like if you were to walk up in Burger King and just starting conversations with people and then working Christ into the conversation, or working relationships and kind of work. Am I on the right track there?
Yeah, I think you are. I mean, again, who am I? This is just something that I believe that anybody can do, but I really believe that if you know how to use some online tools, and there's a variety of different things that you can use digitally to become a digital missionary. But yeah, this is something that any average Joe person can do, and that's the great thing. That's the thing I love about it.
Awesome. So I'm an average Joe.
Okay.
I feel the calling that, maybe I should be doing something a little bit more with my online stuff instead of just sharing pictures of cats or, yammering about the latest shoe trend or whatever. What are my first steps? How can I just start being a little bit more intentional being a digital missionary?
Yeah, I would say, again, I'm going to give you the ultimate spiritual, answer here. But the first thing is to really just pray about it. I mean, to really pray and say, God, where do you want me to have influence? Where is it? What kind of group can I speak into? And again, I think God will lead you in that right direction. And so, if you, gosh, I'm stumbling on words here right now. But the thing is, I think that wherever your passions are, you can go into that community. With social media and with online stuff, there's so many communities in there that you can just start speaking truth into. Like, I mean, the most basic one is Facebook. Okay, I mean, say you're on Facebook. You have an opportunity to have influence on all those people that are following you on Facebook, all your friends. And it could be something very simple as, hey, there's a Bible verse that I found, and I'm going to post it on my Facebook profile page, and it's gonna, I'm going to just say, hey, this is a psalm that I read today. May it encourage you today. Is something that's very simple as just posting a Bible verse. And with Facebook and Instagram and even Twitter now, images are so important. You can get it. You can just Google search Isaiah 41:10, and someone would have made an image for it, and then you can therefore go and share it on your page. It's just starting very simple with the influence that you have right around you, and then you can go and reach out a little bit further. I always go back to the whole point when Jesus, ascended into heaven, and he said in Acts, "You'll be my witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and to the ends of the earth." Well, where they were at was right around Jerusalem. So, Jesus was saying, have influence here, start here in Jerusalem, and then start reaching out even further and further. Start with where you are. Start with your friends with you and your family members, and you can use online tools like posting an image of a Bible verse on your Facebook wall. I mean, I'm telling you, about 6 years ago, I went through a really, really hard time in my life, and I just started reading through the Psalms, and I started posting verses that I read through the Psalms, and I got so much great feedback from people that said, thank you so much, Tom. This helped minister to me as well. And so it was really a great opportunity for me to share something without offending necessarily everyone, saying, hey, everyone should commit their lives to Jesus today because I believe you should. I just used something very simple as a Bible verse, and then when God knew it was time for them to talk to me about something important or something as a hard time they were going through, then that conversation was open in large part because I started the conversation online just by posting a simple Bible verse. That's a long answer to a very simple question, I think. But there you go, Justin.
So would you say that just going right off the bat, like I'm going to start a blog and I'm going to try to reach out to people, that's kind of the equivalent of saying your first missionary trip's going to be to Africa or Asia? You might just need to start with the people around you, like your Facebook friends, your Twitter followers. Same thing as just being a little bit more mindful at work. Is that a pretty good illusion?
Exactly. And I think if you open yourself up every day and just say, God, what do you want me to do today? What do you want me to share today? You move me. I think if you open yourself up to the Lord, I think God's going to reveal to you where you can have that influence, especially digitally. I mean, again, it could be something posting a picture that you took. If you're a very good photographer, You can post a picture of something great in nature and just say, I thank God for this day, and post a scripture with that. I mean, if you're a good writer, and it could be something very simple as you just starting a blog and sharing your thoughts and maybe incorporating scripture into it. And, again, it begins plants some seeds in people, and it begins some opportunities for you to share with them.
And so how do you integrate that with your own church? So we kind of talked about you being yourself being a digital missionary. Now, how can you create that? How does a church leader or a pastor kind of create like a digital missionary culture? How does he get people bought in to start doing things like that?
Well, churches are always looking for people to serve and the people to help out. And they think, oh, I'm not good enough here, or I'm not good enough there. And that's what I think with some of the digital stuff and everything on our phones. Like, everybody loves their phones nowadays. I mean, even, my dad, who never had like any kind of technology background at all, he can still use his iPhone and send me emojis and send me gifts. I mean, the people pick up on it pretty well. So the reality is, we're all kind of self-taught here. And I think it's you identifying people, or even throwing it out the question to people and say, we're looking for people to take photographs, or we're looking for people to write a little bit. We're looking for people to share and engage with people online. I created a social media team a little bit ago. It's now defunct. We have to modify it a little bit. But what I did was I just found average people who enjoyed being on Facebook or who enjoyed being on Twitter. And I said, could you help me out doing this? And, whenever we're posting something on the church webpage or the social media accounts, to be able to share that as well. So I think it's just creating a culture to say there's so many opportunities out there for us to serve and to be there. And, what's your spot? What's your role that you can serve here? And using some digital opportunities. I still think, as hip and as cool as churches tend or try to be these days, we still have to, considering digital technology is still relatively new and fresh here, we still have to fight. I still have to fight people to say, listen, this is important. You think social media, it's just fun and games, but we can have real influence on people with social media. And so you have to really teach people and train people to say, no, you can serve in this way.
What are some of the other background skills? Like for me, for example, I love the kids ministry. I think it's a very, very important ministry. I support it wholeheartedly in anything that our kids ministry do. However, I am not good with kids. I am good with my kid, but that's about it. So obviously I can't teach classes. But what I've been able to do is I've been able to support the kids ministry by making flyers, making handouts. I do make phone calls to parents, and more recently I designed, we are working on a t-shirt design for our kids ministries. So that's a couple of background things that are a little bit, now those aren't exactly digital, mail outs, flyers, phone calls, but there are some things that I think people support ministries, but maybe they can't be at the front of house. What are some behind the scenes digital missionary strategies that we can plug people in if they're not so much an in front, on stage kind of person?
Yeah, I think a very simple thing is that for people, like, again, if you're talking about a parent, that encourage people to share what's happening that is being posted. Like, so our kids ministry, they have a page for their for the families in the children's ministry, and they post the stuff all the time. Well, if you see something on your children's ministry site that is awesome, you can say, hey, I'm going to share this on Facebook, or I'm going to share it on Twitter, wherever it's posted, and just be able to share that. And then again, it gives people an opportunity to say, oh my gosh, I didn't know that this was happening. You could share it on your wall, or like a lot of communities, I know my community does this. I don't know about yours, but we have a community page for Facebook. And what we do is whenever there's something cool that's happening that's family centric, like we have a fall fun fest coming up. We have we have digital flyers out, and we have, Facebook events posted. We encourage people to simply share the Facebook page or his Facebook event on that community page so that they can know about it. So simple little things like that, where they're just sharing the content, can be extremely helpful and a really good start to having some influence over the people that you are, involved with on Facebook or social media.
I love that because for free, you just put your stuff out there and you have a team of people that are just, hey, the church shared something, I'm going to share it. That gets your culture. We had talked about sharing your church culture. That gets that out more into the community, and you don't have to pay for it with Facebook ads.
Yes. Well, yeah,
it's like a
exactly
ministry
right.
for everyone.
Yeah. Well, and here's the one thing too. This is something that where you can even do during a church service. And we've actually done this before. We discovered that there's a lot of people in our church that don't even like our Facebook page, that haven't even liked our Facebook page. So during mid-service, we have our campus pastor come out there, and he just said, "Hey, everyone, bring out your phone, go to Facebook, type in New Life Christian Church, like our page, and like our page." Because again, people will then be able to get more information about it. Then they'll be able to share it. So the first start, before they can even share it, they got to even like your page. And it's so like some of our staff people haven't even liked our page before that time. It was just really like, again, that's where you have to go back and teach people to say, hey, it's really simple. These things are really simple to do, but here, let me teach you. Let me show you how you can do this.
Absolutely. That's something I think we don't do enough, is to tell people to actually do something from the stage. So It's one thing to announce, hey guys, to say and encourage, hey, take some selfies. But for Social Media Sunday, from the stage, I was doing I was doing stage announcements, and I actually said, hey guys, today's Social Media Sunday. Everyone take out your phones and take a selfie with the person next to you. And let me tell you, I said this jokingly, but it's for real. I said, I've never seen so many people smiling and hugging each other at once. Like, this is amazing. Like, not even during greeting time are we smiling and hugging this much. But people were like, hey, yeah, selfie. And so just telling people, hey, real quick, do it once a quarter. Hey, guys, we're on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, go to church name and click the like button. And then the next quarter, do Instagram. If you're on Twitter, do Twitter. Or if you have an email list. You can even tell people, hey, maybe you're not on it. Absolutely, go download. We have some kind of what would you call it? The marketing term is lead magnet, but basically some kind of free resource. We have a 5-day devotional. Go download it, and they get added to your email list because they download it. So just telling people from the stage, hey, don't forget, guys, we have a Facebook page. It's way more effective than a slide before service.
Yeah, no, and that's so true. And you know what? Another thing that they can do is that to check in when they get to check in on Facebook when they get to your church. And it's so funny because then you're indirectly promoting that you're going to church, and someone might be thinking, gosh, if they're looking for a church today, they're like, oh my gosh, so and so's at this church. Maybe I should try it out someday as well. So it's a great opportunity just by you simply checking in to your church when you get in there on Facebook.
That's right. And that gives me a good idea. We'll do a tutorial on how to set up your Facebook page, make sure people can check in properly. That's something I love. Every time my phone dings on Wednesday nights or Sunday mornings, someone's checking in. I love that. It's so encouraging and it's so great. And it makes me feel bad when I miss church, because then I'm like, oh man, I'm not there. I wish I was there with Edgar, whatever. So I really appreciate your time today, Tom. Can you tell people where to find you and kind of what your current project is?
Yeah. I blog regularly and do some podcasts at ymsidekick.com. I've been doing that for a long time. Again, it's a mix between student ministry and digital stuff, but it's a lot more digital lately. And my current project that I love and that you are a part of as well is this digital boot camp Facebook group that we're doing, where the whole goal is to provide digital training and digital tools for average ministers, whether you're a volunteer or whether you're a paid person, to give you some digital training on how to do, use online tools to further extend your reach. I'm fumbling all over words here today, Justin. I'm sorry about this, but no, it's just to use digital tools to expand your reach and help more people come to know Christ. So it's at Digital Boot Camp. You can search for it on Facebook. Just type in Digital Boot Camp and you'll get it.
And how much does Digital Boot Camp cost?
It costs $0. That's the great thing. It's free. It's completely free. And you got great, again, the whole idea is that every week we're going to talk about a different topic, digital topic. And again, Justin, you're going to be a contributor on that. And so the cool thing about it is every week there's going to be a different topic, and you're going to learn something really cool from an expert who knows their stuff for free.
Very cool. I'm loving it. We just started it in October, and already 2 weeks in, we talked about digital missionaries. This week we're talking about content creation, and next week is actually my week. That's the church websites we'll be talking about. So I'm really excited for that. So this was actually pretty good timing for us. So go check out the Facebook group Digital Boot Camp with Tom Pounder. I appreciate you, Tom. If people want to connect with you on social media, where can they find you best?
Twitter's best at TA Pounder.
All right. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you, man.
So that was my interview with with Tom Pounder. I appreciate you guys for watching. You can find him on Twitter again at TA Pounder. That's where we connected. I know he hangs out there a lot on Twitter. And you can also find his stuff at ymsidekick.com. He's got a blog. He's got a fantastic podcast. I was on his podcast a couple weeks ago. A lot of value there. And if you have any questions about church websites, I know Tommy had a question earlier. Go find the Facebook group Digital Bootcamp. Next week, I'll be in the group, and that's all we're talking about. There's an expert for everything: copywriting, video, bootcamp, and I'm going to get Dave in there as our live streaming expert. And next week, we're going to tackle church websites. So I'm going to deliver a ton of value equal to what we put here in Church Training Academy. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited for that. And while you're doing that, check out easylivestreaming.com. easylivestreaming.com, and you will get the Church Training Academy guide, live streaming for churches the easy way. This is going to give you 4 different ways that you can live stream. 2 of them you can do right now with just what's in your pocket, your phone. So go check that out. It's absolutely free, and that's going to get you started with live streaming. All right, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm sorry for the hiccups. We always tell you, quality is not the most important thing. It's what you're putting out. It's the fact that you're doing it, that you're trying it, and that you're putting out content. Eventually, you get to the point where the content trumps the quality. And we're practicing that today, for sure. This is my first time doing it. I did a couple practices, but you know what, guys? I took the leap. I'm going to learn some stuff. Dave's going to correct me and teach me some things. And that's how we do it. That's the Church Training Academy way. So go to easylivestreaming.com. Get signed up there for the free resource, Live Streaming for Churches the Easy Way. I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned. Like the Church Training Academy Facebook page to keep updated. We put out tons of content. We share lots of articles. Anything that's valuable for us, we're going to share with you. Nothing is hidden here. Nothing is hidden here. If we find value with it, we're going to share it with you. And our whole methodology with content is, we're going to share some of the best stuff that we find with you. There's going to be some things that are going to be better taught in a classroom session, in a one-to-one session, and that's what the actual membership academy is for. So you can find more information about that at churchtrainingacademy.com. But again, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope to see you all next week. Smash that like button. Let me know that you liked it, and I will catch you guys next week.